Sabikui Bisco is not an anime I really expected to be reviewing. I hadn't heard about it that much, but a few months ago I let my Discord community choose the anime for me to review, and this is the one that was chosen. Sabikui Bisco is about a post-apocalyptic Japan somewhere in the near future. A few generations ago, all of Tokyo was turned into a giant crater. Rust winds spreading across the land, causing diseases that turn people's skin into rust, like decaying metal, except it's your skin. It's a pretty gnarly looking skin condition that does end up being fatal for the people unlucky enough to be exposed to these rust winds. Given that the world is not optimistic or bright, much of Japan is a wasteland, and while other parts of Japan still have their natural beauty, there is danger lurking everywhere. Which is where our main character, Milo Nekoyanagi, steps in. Now, Milo is a doctor with a little spot over their left eye socket, which leads them to being called Panda Doctor, or Dr. Panda, or something along those lines. Milo is typically seen taking care of the poor and underprivileged people in the town of Imihama, going all around the slums, doing their best to try to take care of who they can. Many people affected by the rust wind, but other people just affected by the day-to-day life and illnesses that come with it. This is a land of extreme poverty, while also spending a significant amount of time tending for their sick sister Pawu, who is the head of the Imihami Watch. Milo is desperately trying to search for any cure that they can for rusting, but they aren't having a whole bunch of luck, but they've stumbled upon a thought. Maybe it has something to do with mushrooms. Which is convenient that they think that because Bisco Akaboshi is here for them. Now, Bisco is a mushroom tender, which in this world is someone who carries a bow and arrow that they shoot that sprouts giant mushrooms wherever it goes. A whole bunch of different kinds of mushrooms especially. They have special spores coated on the tips of their arrowheads, and when they shoot them out, it suddenly makes them grow. How do mushrooms have a delayed reaction like that? I don't know. But don't ask questions. This is an anime where you should not bother asking those questions. If you want to ask why things happen logically or what the science behind any of this is, I want you to take those feelings, and this, more than most other anime, you need to check that at the door, because if you hold on to those thoughts, you're not going to have a good time. Bisco is a terrorist known all throughout Japan, feared by all. It's said that the mushrooms that they plant spread the rust wind all across the land. But for right now, Bisco needs help with their mentor Jabi, who's been shot a few 6 times and needs a little bit of medical attention. Milo, of course, assists because as a doctor, they can't just leave someone in need without medical attention. And it's then that they find out that actually, mushrooms consume the rust. But this process isn't perfect, and while certain mushrooms can help delay rusting, help it keep it back as long as possible, it's not a cure. But it's rumored that there is a mystical mushroom out there called a rust eater that is supposed to eat all rust, be a cure-all that saves everyone from rusting. But these mushrooms have never really been found or documented outside of rumors between mushroom keepers. But Milo, desperate to stop the rusting in his sister and all people that they know in the area, wanting to find some way to cure rusting, as well as Bisco, whose mentor Jabi is also dying of rusting, even though he wasn't killed by those bullets. Rusting, though, is definitely going to kill him within a month, so they both need to work fast and work together. So Milo, Bisco, and Octagawa, the giant crab, yes, there is a giant crab, and yes, they do use it as their horse, basically. Don't worry about it too much. Anyway, the 3 of them decide to set out a journey across Japan, trying to find these mythical rust eaters, trying to find some way to save their loved ones and all of Japan. Now, if you followed all of that, it can seem like a little bit of a typical post-apocalyptic journey for a cure, trying some way to find a magical cure that will beat the illness that is plaguing humanity. And you're not wrong, the story does basically follow that guideline of going out and trying to find the mythical item to help cure everyone. But the world to that destination, including the side characters and all different kinds of creatures that exist in this world, make it an incredibly compelling journey. This anime's narrative isn't going to change the world in any kind of way. It's not groundbreaking, but it does what it does in an effective manner, building up a great relationship between Bisco and Milo while giving you small details about this world all the way through. It's a very interesting take on a post-apocalypse. This is said to be Japan, but it really doesn't feel like Japan at all to me. Like, the environment is entirely different. There's, of course, names of certain cities that exist in Japan. Of course, they mentioned Tokyo being destroyed. There's Gunma, there's Imihama. It's very clear that this is Japan, but it just doesn't really feel like it. It feels like an entirely different fantasy world because of how different it is from our world. It feels like it's only a few generations past when the whole calamity happens, which maybe it's like 50, 100 years. I don't know. They never really tell you how long it's been. Not that I remember, at least. But the world feels entirely different, which maybe is explained by just rust changing everything. You know, maybe it causes genetic mutations that allow crabs to become the size of a house, or for things like oil slugs or giant crabs that have an entire fortress on their back. Giant pufferfish that soar through the sky, terrorizing people across the land. There's so many different kinds of creatures. There's hippos with machine guns mounted on them. There's snails that are turned into giant cargo ships. They're called escargot, which I think is hilarious because it's escargot, like, you know, a snail food in France, but also a cargo plane. It's stupid. It's very stupid, but I love it. Also, there's the whole logic behind mushrooms in this anime, which is just entirely ridiculous. It's not actually how mushrooms work. As I mentioned earlier, they shoot off an arrow that has a whole bunch of mushroom spores on it, and then boom, a few seconds later, all the mushrooms somehow activate like they were time bombed. And just grow. It feels like a very obvious just plot device with not a whole bunch of internal logic to it. But this isn't that kind of anime. And accepting that the world of Sabikui Bisco is so divorced from our own will help you a lot in enjoying this series, because it is genuinely a lot of fun. When the anime initially opens up on a desolate wasteland, I was concerned that it was going to be about a lot of different small towns and the remnants of society, but to my surprise, there actually are still cities standing. The Japanese government still apparently exists as well. There's not really a mention of how the world has changed everything, but it is clear that there is still some form of governance, some form of order that exists in this world. It's not complete chaos. There's still TVs, cars, tanks, motorcycles, helicopters. All these things still exist in this world, and while everything is a little bit different and operates in just odd kinds of ways, it still feels like a post-apocalypse, but with so many things added on top of it that just make it feel like a whole different experience. The world building is fantastical and entirely ridiculous. It's definitely something that is going to stick out in your mind, because I mean, the first episode has hippos with machine guns mounted to them chasing after one of our main characters as they try to escape on a giant crab. And that ridiculousness goes a long way to building something that I'm excited to see a season 2 on. Season 2 has already been confirmed, and while the plot line of season 1 isn't something that really gripped me like I feel like it should have, where the characters get to, where the story gets to, and how things developed, how they've built upon this world, and how there's still so many mysteries left to explore, I'm excited for the next season. I'm excited to see how these characters can grow, develop, and change. I think this is a great starting ground for a really fascinating show. As it is currently, if it was just this season, I think it might be something I would forget, but because there is another season coming out, and because I do like the pathway they're going on, the world that they're in, the potential that exists, that potential makes me want to stick with this anime to see where it goes. The character designs are beautiful, the color choices they use are really interesting, and the tone of different scenes and different environments makes it really varied, and that variety keeps you feeling like you want to explore more of this world. Again, the biggest strength of this anime is its world building, and the anime's direction accentuates that, helps build on that. And of course, on top of all of that, this is an action-focused anime, and the action kinda works. The combat is so interesting, with different forms of mushrooms being the main powers that they have. And it's just really different. Sabikui Bisco is an anime series that, if you want a good, solid post-apocalyptic series with a fascinating world, then this is the series for you. So Sabikui Bisco is an anime that I will recommend, even though I have problems with it. It's not perfect, it's not flawless, but it is an anime that I enjoyed and that I want to see more of. I want to see this world explored, and I want to see the different kinds of environments, and I want to see more of what this creator has to offer. I love the world building especially so far, and I'm going to harp on that and harp on that and harp on that because it is this anime's strength. And these characters in this world, I feel like there could be something good coming out of this. So I say give it a shot. You know, you don't have anything to lose. It's out right now, subbed and dubbed on Crunchyroll. So if you check it out, be sure to like, comment, let me know what you think. And of course, join the Discord. Link in the description below if you want to join that. Because I am going to be doing another Viewer's Choice anime review. And if you want to contribute to that, you never know. Maybe because of you, I'll end up watching some anime series that you love that no one else has ever heard of, and we'll see what happens. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please again subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, because I have a lot of videos coming out soon, and I'm just really excited for it here. So again, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Leave likes, comments are very helpful, and I would appreciate that. Merch is on sale, you can see that in the description below. And thank you again very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, a great night, or whatever it is you're having. And stay rad.